I want to start off with financial literacy in Nigeria. This topic is something that's not very well spoken of in Nigeria, I guess, because most of the people that are being successful at this time, it's there's a lot of first time millionaires if you may, first time successful people. So there's not a lot of background on how to or people to get the advice on how to keep your wealth. But one person has stood out recently, in my opinion, who is in the person of Alibaba. He's a comedian. He was recently sharing his thoughts about financial literacy, pretty much. I mean, he didn't target that, but pretty much he was talking about financial literacy. And I thought it was interesting. Before I keep talking, I'm just gonna play the video and then we go from there, and then I'll share my thoughts on this. All right. It's on Instagram, and I'll share my screen real quick. All right, here we are.
He went to play in Dubai. They paid him nearly 400 million. He went to play in another international sports event, paid him about 500. The next thing has a Maybach. Next thing he has another car, and then goes on its spree with jewelry and all of that. And in less than 2 to 6 months, he's done about like 1.5 billion. And it was time for him to get married, and he had to use the hall. But if he built the hall, he wouldn't have needed to spend the money for the hall. He would have bought land and done an event center and put a powerful studio upstairs. People will come there and shoot. The venue can then even bring money enough for him to buy anything he wants to buy. When you want to invest in real estate, don't be thinking about sleeping area alone. Develop it and give it a theme. There are resorts that you go to. I went and paid 400 to see Gorilla in Rwanda. Gorilla did not even want to see me. That's where real estate should go to. The real estate should go to a place where you provide something for specific people. Real estate with recreation center is a resort. Real estate with shops, a shopping mall. Real estate with... Told the musician, very top musician, he went...
All right, it's a very short video anyway. But he said this, and I've not seen a lot of successful people in Nigeria come and give these like specific ideas on how to be successful, or where to put your money, right? I don't know, but I thought this was very smart of him, like thinking out of the typical real estate ventures in Nigeria, if you may, because most real estate ventures in Nigeria, people always want to think about it like houses or rental properties where people can rent, or building houses where people can come by. That's pretty much the mindset for most people, right? But he, on the other hand, is thinking about other avenues where you can invest this money. For instance, he said some like a resort, where people can come just spend time, sightsee and all that good stuff, right? And he said a shopping mall and some other things he talked about as well. I think that's interesting. But here's the thing, right? I've read the comment section and I've seen people saying, "Oh, I wonder why people just won't mind their business and stop pocket watching, pretty much, looking at other people's finances," right? Yeah, I understand that perspective as well. However, the problem is these people, when they spend this type of money like this, the money doesn't keep coming like that. Especially being an artist, right? And Alibaba here was referring to an artist, like a gospel musician, right? Especially being a musician, an artist, you always have a peak. Maybe that's your peak. Maybe the peak is when you hit that 1 point whatever billion naira, and you would never in your life hit that amount of money again in that short period of time. Excuse me. Excuse me. Maybe you would, over a long period of time, but in a short period of time, you probably won't, as an artist. It's just what it is. There's a period where you're going to be there's a period where you're going to be popping, right? Everybody wants to hear what you say and all that good stuff. Granted, you take advantage of that, make all the money you can, and invest it smartly. But now people are saying in the comment section, "Oh, why are you looking at other people's income and bothered about what other people are doing with their money?" That's not necessarily the problem. The problem is people get broke. People who are this is the first time, you're making money, you're buying a Maybach, you're buying a Bentley, you're buying this, you're buying that. These things break, especially in Nigeria, right? You bring these things back home. Obviously, they're not manufactured in Nigeria, right? There are no repair shops that can even repair these things and maintain them, so their value drops drastically. I mean, cars in general, they once you leave the dealership, the value has depleted, right? That's in general. But when you take it to Nigeria, the value even drops even further. You see what I'm saying, right? So the point is not about pocket watching or putting your eyes in some other person's income. The problem is these people probably actually do not even know how to like invest money and spend their money and look out for their futures, right? I've seen so many cases where they'll be like, oh, do you know this guy? He's the person that sang this song. And then now you want people to start doing GoFundMe for you, right? But in that period when you're buying your Bentleys and your Maybachs and all that fun stuff, you didn't think about this time, right? That's why this serves as a caution, not necessarily like he's putting his eyes in your finance. He doesn't care about your money, obviously. Alibaba is a very renowned comedian in Nigeria. He's made a ton of money in the business, right? So he doesn't necessarily need anything from anybody, right? But he's just giving advice. Just to be cautious, that there's gonna be a time when this money will not be as much as you see it right now. And what are you going to do? And at that point, you put yourself to this specific type of lifestyle, right? And now you can't, going back down to a lower lifestyle would be a problem. Hey, let me tell you something, right? Over 90% of NBA athletes, they go broke within 2 years of leaving the NBA. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. And these guys make tons and tons and tons of money. They make millions and millions and millions of dollars. The thing is, or the fact is, most people do not know how to manage money. It's a fact. It's a fact. And for most people still, when you try to call them to order, they're like, don't worry about it. Being an athlete is even worse, because your career could be cut short so fast. Like, you could get an ankle injury and then boom, your career is over. you know it also applies to musicians and artists and all that good stuff. It also applies to them. There's always going to be another gospel musician. There's always going to be another rapper. There's always going to be another top musician wherever, right? Your time is going to come and it's going to go. It's just a fact. It's just a given. And there's really nothing you can do about it, right? People move on so fast. They say the attention span of most people is what, 30 seconds, right? So you can imagine. So people move on from things really fast, especially in this time and day in 2024, right? But anyway, this is my opinion. I'm just going to head to the comment section, just like I do, right? Let's read some of the comments here and then we'll head to the next story. But for now, let's check out the comment section real quick. All right. So here, financial management should be a compulsory course. Absolutely. I totally agree. The lady is a listener, not interrupting like other podcasters. Okay. Arrogance in this comment section is the reason they use her girls. Okay, we're not talking about that now. Go ahead and mention his name. Davido Africa. Okay. 30 billion gang people are in the comment. Okay. Let people use their money to do whatever they like. True. I agree with you. But the thing is, when that money dries up, don't come asking for people to do a GoFundMe for you. That's just the thing, right? If Nobi Davido was for a reason, OBO people are here. Smart talk. His advice isn't even centered on shaming, but it's based on educating. Get informed. Financial literacy is a thing that's not well spoken of in Nigeria, right? It's something that is not spoken of in Nigeria. I'm just thinking, which celebrity gets Maybach and just got married? All right. I don't know. I don't know who the person is. I don't necessarily care to know either. Are you all aware that this advice is not for the person he's talking about, but others, for people who value to invest than material things? That's what this show is all about. Just have small sense. Okay. I thought he wanted to say when he wanted to get married, he came to beg him for money. He should have started catering company. Nah, people always don't get it. Someone saying facts and y'all insulting him, it's just a way of teaching others. David may not do it, but others can learn from this knowledge. Investment is key. Absolutely. Lol, if you know investments, where you shock. Only Mattel alone, per annum income, aside endorsements, gone. I don't know if he's referring to Davido, right? These things they don't teach you in a school because they want you in a systematic. Okay, if everyone now builds a hall, who will rent it? His money is choice. Okay, true. Everybody has an opinion, right? Um, all right. I think that's it for now. On this topic, and I'm just gonna head to the next topic here because there's a few other topics I would like to cover before I wrap it up for today. Um, the next one here is about Wizkid and Davido, man. I don't know what's going on with Wizkid. There's been some rumors that recently the Puma deal that Wizkid had, it was given to Davido. I don't know if that's causing some kind of friction. I don't know if that's causing Wizkid to feel a type of way. And then he comes on Twitter and then just rains abuses on Davido. And he doesn't just stop at Davido, right? He goes to his family. He even touched Basket Mouth from nowhere. Basket Mouth took a stray bullet from nowhere, not even being a part of this discussion, right? I have some of the tweets I'm going to read here in a second, but I'm just saying, right? Wizkid is a big artist, very big artist in the whole of Africa, in the world, as in his right. You would expect more from someone of that status, right? But or at least me, I would expect more from someone of that status, right? But most times it doesn't happen that way. Wizkid came on Twitter some days or this past week, and it was just raining abuses upon abuses upon abuses upon abuses. I think it was just so condescending, if that's the word. It just tells you about the character of the person, Whiskey. Not like I expect him to have a certain character. He's just an artist. He's just a musician. You can separate the artist from the art. You can. The artist might make good art, good music, right? But the artist himself might not be the person with the best, judgment of character or best character, right? That's something that I've come to understand, recently, and I've just began, I've just lived my life like that because we sometimes want to say, oh, these artists, I'm so disappointed by the way they do things and the way they carry themselves. Not necessarily. This person is just someone who makes good music, right? You can't expect them to be the person with the best character as well. It doesn't work that way, you know anyway, I'm just gonna head to the tweets here so we can see them ourselves and be the judge here and see if these things we are warranted. Or, I don't know, but let's see. All right. So here he says 80 trash. We got 80 albums for any song y'all drop. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I don't know of any artist that has 80 albums, first off. And you can't say you have 80 albums for any song. So that's a big lie. That's a big fat lie. Um I don't beef whack N word. We all know he's whack. No talent. Okay. And then he goes on to call him Froggy Doe. Um Bingo's got nothing on Starboy General till infinity. And this again is from Tunde Ednut Space. Shout out to Tunde Ednut. He didn't even stop there. There are more. And he goes on to say, when you see people way them papa and family train, you go no. You don't see my uncle dancing online. I don't understand what dancing has to do with anything. I mean, if someone is dancing, why is that a problem? The person chooses to dance, right? It doesn't affect you or hurt you. According to someone here, someone said, Osun State is the best state in Nigeria, which I also disagree with, right? But here's Wizkid touching on to Davido's family at this point, and hey, we've been expecting an album from Wizkid like forever, right? I'm not holding my breath on that album anyway, because one, I used to be a Wizkid fan. When I was younger, he used to make sounds like Bakurumo, Oh Jaja. Those sounds that you can dance to, right? Soko, Joro. You know, not necessarily meaningful, just some sounds he makes, and then he throws in some words here, in there, here and there that I can't even remember of any legendary line Wizkid has so far. And then he did the big music with Drake. I think it was One Dance or so. With Drake, which became one of the biggest Afrobeats songs ever. Other than that, I can't think of any legendary thing Wizkid has said. We were all young at the time. He was within our age range, and he makes these great sounds that we could vibe to, right? He wasn't necessarily conscious. It wasn't necessarily inspirational. We just all wanted to dance at the time, I guess, and we all loved Wizkid. But ever since, Wizkid hasn't necessarily been dropping hits, and this is my opinion. I stand to be corrected. If you can, please let me know the biggest hit Wizkid has dropped in the past 4 years. And we've been expecting this album from Wizkid for like ever. The album hasn't dropped. Instead, you come on the internet every other day to rain abuses on Davido, unwarranted, like unwarranted. I think it's something for sure. I think it's something for sure. At this point, I think we should call Wizkid Tweet Kid, because you just keep tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. Maybe we should change your name to Tweet Kid, right? How about that for a new name? Tweet Kid. Because that's all you do at this point. You're not dropping music, you're just tweeting. Tweeting. You have features here and there. You had the feature with Ashake, which in my opinion was a good one too. I like that song. I like your verse on the song. It was a good one for sure. But how about your album, Morayo? How about you drop your album and let's talk about your album instead of always dragging attention to yourself with Davido's name, even though you're always gonna say, "Oh, I'm bigger than him," but you always want to drag more attention to yourself. I think this is the weakest way to promote an album if that's what you're doing, right? If that's what you're doing, I think that's the weakest way to do it. And you being an artist, right? There are ways you can express this feel, this banter, whatever it is that you have with Davido. There are ways you can do it in your songs, in your music. Kendrick Lamar recently dropped the biggest diss song ever. That song has been nominated for Grammy, the coming Grammys. That song has been nominated for Grammys, I think, in 5 categories or so. Right? He was artistic about the beef, and he put it in music, and it's going to potentially win him a Grammy. And you are here on Twitter, man. They don't give awards for people who tweet, man. Especially an artist. They don't give awards for that. They give awards for your art. So how about you just drop the album and let's judge your album? Let's talk about your album. And by the way, today I have a few songs and albums I'd like to review as well. But you know what I'm saying, right? How about you drop your album and let critics talk about your album, and let that be the thing that brings attention to you. I don't know, man. This is what I think about the whole Wizkid abusing Davido. But if you have any different opinion from what I'm saying, please let me know. I'd like to know, but respectfully for sure. Well, anyway, with that, I'm going to move to the next story I have here. All right. The next story I have here is Diddy. Diddy has been in the news, right? Recently. Let me see. I don't know how many charges against Diddy. Let's see how many charges he has. I don't know. I don't know if I can find the exact number just by reading, because Google hasn't. I would have to read a whole lot of articles, right? But that's not what I want to do. But the thing is, we know Diddy has been accused of a plethora of things, and recently, the one that a lot of people have been making a lot of jokes about, right? The baby oil. The 1,000 baby oils that the feds said they found at his place. A lot of people have had few days with that one, making so many skits talking about it. And it's funny. I mean, who needs 1,000 baby oils, right? 1,000 baby oil bottles, right? I mean, one baby oil bottle is going to last you for a very long time. So I wonder what you need 1,000 for, Everybody's wondering, what do you need that shit for, right? What's so dry? Is your skin so dry that you need 1,000 baby oils, right? And his attorney, his defense attorney, came out and said it was Costco. He got them from Costco. You know how American people always go to Costco and buy things in bulk. And Costco came out to deny that and say, "Hey, we don't even sell baby oils, man." That was hilarious. I think that was hilarious. But hey, that's not the point today. I'm just trying to relate these two because again, I'm Nigerian and Afrobeats is Nigerian, right? So I'm trying to relate this to the implication it has on Afrobeats. For one, we know how some artists, especially Burna Boy, for instance, he had ties with Diddy, and when he started building these ties with Diddy, um, his stocks grew, right? I mean, we all can agree, right? From the African Giant to the Twice as Tall album, his stocks just grew, and Burna Boy has been an incredible, Afrobeat star. He's been incredible back from when he was, I can't remember his old song's name, but he's been incredible. He's been doing his thing, right? But we all can agree that when he had ties or when he, you know, I wouldn't say pledge allegiance, but when he started being friends with Diddy, um, his stocks grew. And eventually he won the Grammys, right? Eventually, Burna Boy won the Grammys, man. I don't know. This and before then, we hadn't had any Afrobeats person winning the Grammy. But then Wizkid is not anyhow in any way, shape, or form affiliated to Diddy. But I think he won the Grammys with the song he did with Beyonce, the Brown Skin Girl, I think. Wizkid won the Grammys with that one. But before then, I haven't seen any Afrobeat star just blow up like that. And Burna Boy was the only one so far that I know about. I mean, some people are gonna say, "Oh, Shehu Kuti." I don't know. Nobody listens to Shehu Kuti. We talk about Shehu Kuti because of his dad. Shehu, his music. Most Nigerians don't listen to his music. If I'm being honest, he does his music, and people who like it, and it's not a lot of them, not a lot of people. Most people respect the music from his dad. I would even listen to Femi, the music his other brother does. Femi, I'll listen to that before I listen to Shemu. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, no other Afrobeats artist has ever won the Grammys before Burna Boy. I would say solo Grammy award before Burna Boy, because Wizkid, it wasn't a solo thing. He had to be attached to Beyonce, and that's how he won that Grammy award. So I don't know, now that we know you, somehow Diddy was affiliated to the Grammys and all that good stuff, and now he's arrested. Are we going to see another Afrobeat star win the Grammys? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I would like to know. But if anybody knows the answer, please let me know. These are just my thoughts, and I'm just wondering, right? If anybody knows the answer, please let me know. I'd like to know. It's very interesting for sure. And with this one, I'm going to move to the next, the next story that I have here. I'm drinking mineral water. And this is from Sam's Club. But anyway, hey, let's talk about the songs here. All right, this one is from Nasboi. Nasboi recently, Nasboi, he's a comedian. Most people know him from being a comedian, and he's an incredible talent, right? He's a funny guy. He has a lot of characters. He has the Igbo guy character. I don't know, Papa Emeka or something like that. And then he has the Akwa Ibom guy who is Akpan. And then he has a few other characters, which we all love. We all love, right? But recently he's been making a lot of pivots and trying to get into, singing. My thing here with Nasboi's singing, and hey, by the way, Nasboi is also a talented singer. or Afrobeat singer, whatever you want to call it. He's also talented in that regard, right? However, my thing is he's been making music, and the music he's always been making are always centered around women. Hey, I don't have anything against women here, but it's mostly always been centered against giving praises and talking about some girl or those kind of music. Hey, I'm an old guy, right? I know I look young. Hey, don't get deceived, right? But I'm an old guy, right? I'm an old guy, and I don't want to hear things like that anymore. I listened to music like that when I was younger, and also Nasboi is not even in that age bracket where Nasboi should be close to his 30s. Not like his age has anything to do with it, right? But he's closer to his 30s, which is closer to my age as well. Here's the thing. I expect most people within that age bracket to be more conscious, socially conscious about what's happening in the society around them. And when Nasboi started making those type of songs about women, I'm just like, there we go again, right? Because that's what every other person is doing. But hey, I think I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here and say maybe he was singing those type of music just to drag the crowd, to drag the attention towards him. And when he drags the attention towards him, then he gives us his social, his very conscious music, which is what he did here, right? In the Hunger Games music. I have to shout, I have to give it out to him, man. The music is just everything. Even though it was just him shouting Hunger Day, Hunger Day, but that's what the average Nigerian should be shouting right now in this time. That's what the average Nigerian should be shouting right now. Hunger Day. There's hunger in the land, and most people are here playing, dancing, doing all that fun stuff, right? When the artists, who are the people who can actually drag attention to this stuff, they're all around there singing praises to women. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But in the society that I'm from Nigeria, I'm Nigerian, in that society, that shouldn't be our priority right now. The priority should be about getting governance to work, getting corruption to stop. Maybe not stop completely, but come to some type of reduce to a certain level. Artists can drag attention to this. And again, I agree. I listened to a clip by Buju Banton where he said Nigerian Afrobeats music was all foolery or something like that. I think he said fuckery or something like that. I think it was fuckery. He said, I kind of agree with that, right? Because when you listen to the top artists, all they sing about is women, 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 women. When does it end? When does it end, right? But hey, I had to give it up to Nasboi on this one. He had some great lines on that one. I can't remember them. I wrote them somewhere. Here, he said, "I dey slim, them talks in a gym. I dey pray hard, but hunger still they hold me tight. Also, day no food to treat them." Conscious music like this is what, and you can make it to be creative too. You can make it to be danceable too. But let people listen to this and be conscious about the reality, not a feel good music. At this point, why do you want to feel good? Why do you want to feel good, right? In this moment in time in Nigeria, where the president just took off to Britain or the UK to go relax. He says he's going on a leave. Why are you wanting to feel good in this time? And I can't wait to hear what Wizkid would have to say in his album. Hopefully he drops. Hey, I'm not holding my breath on that album, right? But hopefully he drops that album soon. I'd like to know what Wizkid would say in that album. Maybe he's gonna give us the feel good too, because that's mostly what he does. Feel good, right? Joro, Soko, Bakuruma, all that stuff. We're tired of that, or at least I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of listening to stuff like that. I don't want to hear stuff like that anymore. I need conscious stuff to fill my spirit and let me know that people are actually feeling this. The country is not in a very good state. The country of Nigeria is not in a state to be feeling good. Nigerians shouldn't be feeling good about there's nothing that's working in the country. The president just left to the UK to go relax after doing nothing. Pretty much nothing. He did nothing. And he said he's going on a leave. Only God knows when he's going to come back, right? But hey, shout out to Nasboi. And obviously, this song is dragging a lot of attention, which shows or which goes to say it's not just me. It's not just me that wants to hear conscious stuff, right? The likes of Vector, the likes of what's his name? Scales, I think. The likes of I think it was MI or so, have already hopped on the music because, that's what people want to hear right now. Even if it's just you shouting hunger day, hunger day, even if it's just you shouting there, right? People want to hear that. People want you need to shout that even more. Even though you just make a track and just keep shouting hunger day. Hey, that's the situation of Nigeria right now. And everybody should know it can't be said slowly or softly. No. You need to shout, you need to yell, hunger day, hunger day. Hey man, shout out to Nasboi on doing that one. And again, hey, like I said earlier, right? I wasn't a fan of all the type of music he was doing. Hey, and to even make it worse for you, I can't even remember the names of the names of those songs. And there was one that was all over the place on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you go, you just keep listening, you just keep hearing that song, right? That made me even madder, right? It made me even madder, right? I'm gonna check. Wait, just hold on one second. Nasboi music. I think it was Small Money, and then he had one Umbrella. Lover Boy. Look at that. You know what I'm saying, right? Short Skirt. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, man. These songs you are making me so crazy. I swear to God, man. They were making me go crazy. Like you go on Instagram, that's all you hear. Short skirt, short skirt. I get short skirt. I like your short skirt. Just why do we care about short skirts right now in 2024 in Nigeria, right? Why are you worried about a short skirt? Why are you worried about, But hey, man, shout out to Nasboi for at least making this one conscious music in his album. That's a very good thing to do, especially in this time. And again, even if it was just you yelling hunger day from the first minute to the end of the music, that's enough. And shout out to you, man, Nasboi, for sure. And with that, I'm gonna go to another reaction. My reaction to another album. And this is for Phyno. All right. My lip is chapping. All right. Let me get my lip right. And catch my breath too, right? Because I've been passionate about Nasboi, so I need to catch my breath on this one. But hey man, this one here is it's about Phyno's album, Fulltime Job. All right. I don't know when he released that album, but I think it was sometime last week, right? Hey. And again, it's gonna be a similar reaction here. Just like I had for Nasboi's album in general and the song Hungergames. Phyno used to be one of my best artists, or I would say Igbo artists. I would say artists in general. Because of the inspiration, the mindset at the time. He had a music at the time which I play till this day. Anytime YouTube drops my my review, my yearly review or whatever, right? My yearly playlist, right? Like the songs that I played the most. This particular song always comes up. And that song is a short for me by Phyno. And that music, it will always resonate with me. it will always resonate with me because I've been in places where I felt really down. But because of the music, because of the lyrics of that song, it just made me keep my head up and keep striving and keep, hustling, keep pushing. Because he says in that music, he's sure for me. Olisado, Olisa kelolo wado, imakwana ije teka, but he sure me say he's sure for me. Hey man, shout out to Phyno in that time, man. The current Phyno, he's also trying to pivot into the feel good type of music. And my thing is this, right? Phyno really, at least in my opinion, just me looking from the outside, right? Phyno has made a lot of success. He's made a lot of success. He really doesn't need that feel good vibe. He really doesn't need it. Eminem, for instance, right? Eminem doesn't go out there out of his way to promote his albums because he doesn't really care. He's just making music. And if you love it, you love it. If you don't, it's what it is. He doesn't go out of his way to want to, put it on TikTok, make people dance to it. He doesn't go out of his way to do that. But this is something, and Phyno, in my opinion, he has earned his right to be called a legend in the music industry in Nigeria, right? And because of what he's done in the business, there are other young artists now that strive to be like him. Last week I talked about Cameo Hustler. These are young kids that looked up to Phyno because Phyno has been the only Igbo artist that came out in mainstream Nigerian music fair and killed it. Everybody knows Phyno in Nigerian music business, right? He's been one of those ones. And there's the Cameo Hustler, there's the Collar Boy, there's the Jerik, and a few others I probably don't remember right now. But these three, I listen to them a lot, so that's why I can remember them off the top of my head, right? Again, I think Phyno really doesn't need the feel good type of music to be relevant. He doesn't need relevance. He's already relevant. But I've seen Phyno go on TikTok and try to make people dance to his music, make dances and all that good stuff. Do I, and then it becomes a trendy song. I don't think Phyno needs that right now in his career. Phyno can be one of those people who can also talk about the conscious, just be conscious in their music about the society, social things. Just speak about it, right? At least, maybe because I'm getting too old. Hey, maybe because I'm getting too old and now I just want to hear conscious music. But conscious music can be fun too. It's not just being conscious and, not having fun. You can be conscious and still have fun, right? It can be done. Two-Face used to do it back in the day. He put all those conscious lyrics in his music and everybody loved it still, right? Asha used to do it, So why leave that type of music you used to do in the past and want to pivot now to a feel-good music, wanting to make people dance and all that good stuff? In my opinion, I just think it's not necessary, right? Phyno is one of the biggest Igbo names out there. And then in the album, The Fulltime Job, Phyno had a feature with Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy, as we know, it was the biggest scammer, at least we know now, in modern times, right? From Nigeria. He's currently in prison somewhere in the USA, maybe in Los Angeles or somewhere. Facing maybe 10 years due to all the crimes or, scamming that he did. We all know the story about Hush Puppy, right? And then in that music still, Hush Puppy should have seized the moment to talk about the regret, in my opinion, right? Hush Puppy should have seized that opportunity to talk about the regrets that he has scamming and how he has single-handedly changed a whole generation's mindset to become scammers, whether you like it or not, right? The current generation of young people in Nigeria who are scamming, most of them look up to Hush Puppy. So Hush Puppy should have used that opportunity, seized that opportunity to talk about his regrets and how he regrets what he did, and how if given the opportunity again, what he would do different. This is what I think he should have done there. But hey, instead he was making some innuendos, some rhetorics. Everybody should run their race. Don't look at this, don't look at that. I'll tell you something, Hush Puppy, right? I'll tell you something. The feds are watching. The feds are listening. You might think they're not listening, but I promise you they are listening. They are listening. And when they listen to what you say. And they're like, this guy is not remorseful. Okay, guess what? We're going to come up with some other trumped up charges, right? I'm just saying, hypothetically. But this is how these guys operate anyway. This is how these guys operate. They just want to make an example. That's all they want to do. They really don't care. It's all game. It's all fun and games to them. They don't care. Okay, this guy thinks we're playing, right? Okay, you're giving innuendos and rhetorics instead of it to be remorseful of what you did, right? You scammed all these people that you're talking about. Everybody should run their race, right? Okay, guess what we're going to do? We're going to come up with more charges and keep you behind there until you learn your lesson, right? I know this because I watch a lot of or I listen to a lot of stories by previous criminals. Ricky Ross, the guy who single-handedly again caused the crack cocaine era in America back in the 80s or so, right? Single-handedly. They've also made a movie about him in Snowflakes, right? He's narrated his story and how the feds kept coming back for him even after he had done his time. They made him go back again. Multiple times. So this is what they do. I'm not just saying this because I think I know it all. No, I don't know it all. I'm saying based on other people's experiences. The Wolf of Wall Street, that story was about a real human being. I forget his name now. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, right? But the real person behind that story has also said the same thing. They don't let you be. They just keep coming back with stupid stuff. The mob, the mafia. They don't let you be. They put you behind bars, you come out, they come up with something else, you go again. They come up with something else, you go again. But hey, Hush Puppy, man. I think if you have this type of opportunity, you should be using it to talk about regrets. Not using it to say some code words or no, be very clear and explicit about what you mean and how you regret what you did. That's all you need to come out, right? Unless you intend to come out and keep scamming. Unless that's the idea. But if your plan is to come out and become a better citizen of the world, right? Why not talk about how you regret what you did, right? At least that's what I expected on that one. And then Phyno on that one as well kept on talking about the lifestyle again. At this point, you don't need that though. You are Phyno. You've made it, right? You've made it. At least me looking from the outside, right? Your name is Phyno. You don't need all that one, like trying to be or look like the bad guy or a bad guy. You don't need that. I don't know, man. These are just my thoughts on the album. And I would also have loved to see some of these young Igbo artists on that album as well, like DJ Reeks, DJ Reek, Cameo Hustler. I've seen you make a a video on an Instagram video with Camille Hustler. I've seen, I would have loved to see him on that on your album. A feature to make these guys, to put them out there. These are the things I would expect you to do now because you are Phyno. Why didn't see that? Instead, I was seeing people that I don't even know about, man. I'll tell you what, man, these guys look up to you. Whether they say it or not, the Color Boys, the J Riggs, the Cameo Hustler, they look up to you. And then you do an album and you don't put them on there. I don't know. I think they're going to feel a type of way. Maybe they won't say it. Maybe I'm just the one saying it, right? But hey, it's what it is. Again, we're approaching the hour mark. We're at 48 minutes right now. And I have just one more story to talk about here. And then I'm going to call it a day for today. But anyway, that's my review of the album. And that's how I feel about the album. There's no song on that album that I would play back. I played it one time. Typically, I would play an album maybe at least 3 times to even have an opinion. But I played that album one time. I know I played the feature, the interlude with Hush Puppy. I played that one maybe 2 or 3 times just to listen and make sure that I heard everything that I heard correctly. And it was just not something that I liked, right? And I've given my reasons why I didn't like that. But in general, the album is not something that I would want to play again. So Phyno, I don't know what you're doing, man, but you can do better, that's for sure. And with that, I'm gonna go to the next one. This one is about Shaboozey. This one is about Shaboozey. Shaboozey is of Nigerian descent, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And I'll tell you his name right here. His real name is, let's see. He's 29. He's American, but he's of Nigerian descent for sure. His real name is Collins Obinna Chibueze. Collins Obinna Chibueze. Shaboozey. His parents obviously have to be Nigerians. That's why he has that name. And Igbo to be precise. I'm going to see if I can find his parents' name here. Let's go to Wikipedia. His parents don't show here. Let's see if I can do Shaboozey parents. But that for sure, that name is a Nigerian name, so I'm not even mixing it up. All right, I can't find it and I don't want to keep wasting time doing that. But anyway, he's been considered for 11 Grammys. And I'll tell you what, I'm the one to talk about. I don't like all these love songs. But hey, Shaboozey is he's American. He can do that. You know what I'm saying? He can do that. He can do that if he wants to, right? So I'm going to hold him at a different standard or whatever, right? He's American. He can do that. They're not going through as much crisis as we are going through as Nigerians. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. I listened to his album. And the album, there was no one song that I would want to skip. And I used to be a country, I wouldn't say I was a big country music, country music lover or whatever, right? It was just John Denver. I used to love John Denver. I think everybody loved John Denver, right? And that was one song that drew my attention to country. One person that drew my attention to country music, at least made me know about country music and love country music. Other than that, I don't know a lot of other, maybe Dolly Parton. Everybody knows Dolly Parton, right? But again, Shaboozey makes country music and he's being considered for 11 Grammys. That's incredible. Hey, I listened to his album and there was no one song I wanted to skip. Not one. It just kept going. Everything was just smooth. It was just like he knew exactly what he was doing. With this song goes to the next one, and this one connects to the next one, and then the last song. When you listen to the last song, it's the last song. The way, the mood, everything. I don't know, man. Shout out to Shaboozey, and obviously the one song that most people would know about would be the Tipsy. Was it Tipsy? The bar song, yeah, the bar song. But that's not the best song on his album. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't even know which one would be the best, right? I don't even know which one would be considered the best because every song I listened to, I couldn't stop. It just kept going. It just kept going. It just kept going. It just kept going. So I can see why he's being considered for 11 Grammys. And man, shout out to Shaboozey, man. He started doing music not too, maybe he's been doing it for a while, but we just knew about him after he did the bar song and World Star and the Shade Room. At least that's where that's where I knew about him. Started showing him, and he has this very interesting very interesting hairstyle. Hopefully mine can get as long as he is someday, and look like, I don't know if I want to have that long hair, that much long hair anyway. But he has that interesting look, and everybody loved the songs, the bar song that he made for sure, and that's how I guess most people knew about him. And then going on to have a feature on the Beyonce's country album as well. I'm guessing that song he had there would also drag some Grammys for him too. I mean, dude deserves everything that's coming to him because again, he makes good music. I hope our Afrobeats people can learn a thing or two from him and do better music in terms of consciousness, though. But even though Shaboozey's songs were more of love and like women and all that good stuff, which he can do that if he wants to, right? But hey, as far as the rhythm, the sound, the flows, the mood, I hope our Afrobeats brothers can learn a thing or two from him for sure, for sure. But anyway, with that, I'm coming close to the 1 hour mark that I always want to stick to. We're currently at 54 minutes, so I think I'm going to call it a day today. And again, thanks to everyone who's tuned in and who's going to watch the edited clips later. Appreciate all the love so far. Please like, comment, subscribe, and those are the things that keep making me come back here every Sunday, to make these streams, and I appreciate all of that. But with that, I'm gonna head out now, and I'm gonna say peace.